Hello everyone and welcome back to the Ascension Diaries YouTube channel. My name is Alexis and I am resurfacing here after riding the wave that was April 4th, 444 portal that everyone was talking about, which is what occurred behind me is Jupiter and Pluto had a conjunction, which was very rare in the sign of Capricorn. And this was potentially opening up a huge portal of energy that had a theme of rebirth and also death, but it was a big one, and the state of the world definitely reflects this particular transit. So I'm going to be reviewing the data that occurred during that time on the 4-4 and tying it into what's going on today, which is the Libra full moon. I am your friendly neighborhood Libra. My sun sign is Libra anyways, and this is a much more gentle full moon, much more gentle energy than what we did go through, even though for the most part it was all right. But my pets personally, I like to watch pets and children because they don't have all of the cerebral preconceived notions of what they should be doing in a way. And my cat slept through the 4-4 portal basically for a day and a half. I'd never seen her sleep so much. And my dog, again, the next day was in a very melancholy kind of introspective space, and he was sleeping a lot too. So there was definitely something going on in the planetary alignment. So I'm looking forward to sharing all the data I have. I have so much to show you. So let's just get into it, okay? Okay, deal. So the word I'd like you to be aware of, and my intuitive abilities are saying to focus on, is the word rise. And I made this my cover photo on Facebook because I got this intuitive hit and I just felt very strongly that this was the theme that I wanted to portray. And the word rise, in my opinion, talks about the global awakening. It talks about rising in consciousness from survival, sex-based, ego-based sort of lower 3 chakras, distortions, and rising up into your heart, rising up into your voice, rising up into your ultimate multidimensional wisdom and knowledge, rising up into your crown, which is basically your connection to the divine. It is essential in this time, in my opinion, to rise up and rise into your bodies, rise into your awareness. And I've seen this word being used in the political realm, in sort of the places that we're all looking, like in Trump's Twitter, in QAnon, in these places where we are hopeful there are some very benevolent people working to liberate the planet right now. And it seems like this word has shown up in those arenas for me personally. So I'm sharing it with you. I hope you watch this word. I hope that you rise to the occasion and be the solid, embodied piece of the universe to help out and offer insights from those perspectives. So I would also like to mention that thank you again. Of course, huge thank you to the people who support me on Patreon. I just got a few new patrons. Thank you so much for joining. I mentioned in the last video that I'm going to be doing a tarot reading video for all of my $20 patrons, as I do every single month. These people are a huge support in my life, seriously. And anyone else who pledges any other amount this month, if it's more or less, because I also have a few other options, but you can scroll down to the bottom and custom pledge whatever amount that you want. And if you want to be involved in today, or not today, I'm not going to film it today, the tarot reading for April, you just have to pledge and you just have to message me whatever amount. It doesn't matter. I'm just going to add you to the list because I'm so grateful for the abundance that we've been able to have through this craziness that's been going on. We've been able to survive and thrive pretty decently, and it's because of the people's help. So thank you again. Or you can donate on PayPal just one time and you want to join the tarot reading video. Just let me know. Just email me if you want to be involved. Let me know. Okay, let's get into my I've updated the Divine Sovereign Beings website as well. This is where we put our podcast. This isn't the newest one. The newest one has been uploaded on Jace's channel, which is Cosmic Origins. Our newest episode is up there. If you want to check it out, I will be uploading it on this channel. I just haven't gotten to it yet. But I have my services here. I have our Sedona Fulgurite Adoption Center, which is super fun. And we have our original t-shirt collection that are all for sale. So if you want to support us in that way, that's also an option. So on my Instagram, which is where I do most of my posts, and I don't post all about science. I've been getting deeper and deeper into my own story, into my own diary, at my own ascension in a way, and channeling more information from a broader areas like gods and goddesses and political things and astrological things and things about my body and things about taking care of yourself. I'm opening up the doors and I'm allowing more insights to come through and share with people. Like the other night, Venus went into the Pleiades. They overlapped. That light and that energy was bathed upon Earth. No, it's similar with the same distance and similar energy and quality that happened in 2012. Isn't that spectacular? So we just had a huge cycle just go through where Venus and the Pleiades, their energy that they gave in 2012, it was similar to the one that they gave just the other night. I think it was on the 3rd. That occurred. So that type of stuff is what you're missing out. Also, we have a Discord chat room. I wanted to let you know about. It is, if you want to join the chat room, this is the link. I'll put the link in the description. We are having Schumann Resonance spirit science conversations. They are cross platforms, which is great. Not as much fan of the name Discord, but we're going to transmute it. It's purple, so at least that's a good start. So astrologically, what's going on right now, like I mentioned, is the full moon. And then what happened on the 4th was the Jupiter conjuncting Pluto, which was a big deal. And we can look back using the Schumann Bot Twitter page to what occurred on the 4th during that time. I participated in a way. I will be 100% honest with you. I opened the David Wilcock YouTube channel Divine Cosmos because I knew he was going to be doing a meditation. There was about maybe 30,000 people possibly on and watching, participating. Could have been less, could have been way less, I don't know. But we attempted to watch it, but we got distracted right in that moment. And Jason and I had our own intimate conversation. We were laughing over TikTok videos. And we were having a moment of happiness together. And then I tuned back in and was like, oh my God, we're missing the meditation. It happens, we just keep going. We're just guided in every one moment. And so I checked the Schumann Resonance, and this is what was occurring. Watch my cursor. When I looked, this was where we were at, really, in the Schumann Resonance at the time of the meditation. So this, in my opinion, showed that there was a fantastically timed meditation that occurred with what appears to be a huge blast on the Schumann Resonance chart in Russia. I will show you that I have actual evidence that all around the world, other places, was very quiet Schumann Resonance-wise. It only seems like the Russian site was the one that really got intense, which makes me think that this wasn't as much of a worldwide input unless it was just directly shooting at Russia at that time, and all the other places got more of a less intense interaction with this energy. But it definitely made me think deeper that what the source of this energy was, because most people watching this meditation, for example, would have been in the United States, and that area was very quiet at the time. So just keep that in mind for the future. But with all of this energy and with what's been going on, most of us have been watching the President of the United States doing briefings, at least those of us living in the United States and Canada and Mexico. Honestly, most places are probably watching this because the United States leads, basically, in my opinion, the English-speaking minds of the world. And what they mentioned and what was going on in most of these meditations, in my opinion, the buzz was human trafficking at the time. And so days later, I believe this was on the 6th, or maybe it was today. Seems like it was too early. Oh, it's 11:11. It's April 7th, 11:11 Pacific Standard Time right now. So I don't think this was from today. It must have been from yesterday. He specifically mentions the human trafficking of women and children. But he really emphasized women, which I think is really smart, because ironically, although it is probably very true that the largest amount of human trafficking is with women, and then potentially with children after that, but we as women, and we as like the divine feminine collective in general, I feel like we almost are less concerned about the women being trafficked and more concerned about the children, which makes sense on a motherly level. Like, the children have way less, what's the word? They have way less, in my opinion, potential to fight off their trafficking. And women sometimes seem to have a little bit more of a capacity to do so. But we must not forget about the women and the men and the children. All of them are equally important, and they are being focused on by the White House, by this operation that's happening.
And we're hitting them very, very hard. And that's why we're doing
activities that U.S. assets are targeting, or is it beyond narcotics? Are there other illicit activities that
U.S. assets are? There are the activities of human trafficking, and especially with respect to women. And as you know, proportionally, it's mostly women.
So that was fantastic, right out of his mouth, right on the podium, human trafficking. So I know that was a major intention for the meditation, which is excellent. It seems like that this has now manifested this outcome, or at least has helped with the awareness of this issue. And we're seeing our reality now reflect that back to us, which is fantastic. So ironically, human trafficking, if we get, philosophical about this, and human slavery is a major thing that's changing on Earth right now. A lot of the people who are willingly putting themselves into labor and into slavery, it's slavery in a way because it's not really your heart's desire. It's not your choice. It's kind of what we've been conditioned into doing to survive. And that is not a system that is made for people. That is a system that is very parasitic, and it's made to kill people's spirits. It's made to kill people's drives and their soul in a way. And a lot more people are getting the opportunity to be home and be with their soul and be with their freedoms. And it's a magnificent, spectacular thing. People are becoming more consciously aware of where they've been putting their energy, what they've been doing, what they've been participating in, and what they want for themselves. And on a global level, we have been coerced in a way into certain levels and degrees of human slavery, and to trafficking our own energy and our attention to what a very small group of people want for our planet. And calling them people, I think, disarms the situation, but a lot of people think that this is a very malevolent, multidimensional intelligence that is manipulating our planet. And the more we talk about it, the more we can discuss it, debate it. Is this true? Is this not true? Whatever. We have that right. And I think it's breaking down big time. And that's what this big blast, this is the outcome, in a way, from the 4th to the 5th, which is what this Jupiter-Pluto transit was. It was from the 4th to the 5th. And when this meditation occurred was around 7:45 p.m. my time, Pacific time, and 10:45 Eastern time in the United States and North America in general. And that's when this occurred. So it came in, the blast continued all throughout the night, all throughout the morning, and the 5th was also very active into the 6th. That started getting really quiet again. So now we're in the 7th. It's taken me this much time to basically come back to you, to process what was going on here. And I'm just excited to show you that there is evidence here that humans' interaction was able to participate with this energy. Whether or not I don't believe that we were intentionally the source of this energy, like us as humans meditating, but technically we are everything, so we were the source of this. So I don't want you to get lost that the fact that you're not connected to this, because you are this is you. It's just, if we were embodying the same amount of energy and consciousness of Jupiter, in our bodies, we would explode, we would melt. Okay, Jupiter is the size of Jupiter because it needs to be for the amount of energy that it consists. So even thousands and thousands of people on the surface of Jupiter will pale in comparison to the amount of energy Jupiter creates. So I just want to show you that we are, in a way, riding a wave that was already occurring in our own reality, in our own quantum entanglement with these planets. And we were using it for a purpose. We were using it for bringing enlightenment to the world and love to the world. At least that's what the intentions for the people I was paying attention to. I didn't see any malevolent intentions, but I did feel them. I felt that there was some weird, creepy, crawly, not so cute stuff going on. I felt it in like my solar plexus and in my gut and my heart, and then like my whole body was kind of like, it was almost cringing by the idea of this meditation, and which is weird because I never actually participated in the meditation. I did spread the word about it, so I did participate on the quantum level, but something weird was going on, and I don't have exact evidence of what that is, but I'm glad that what I'm seeing, at least in the political realm, was a focus on something that was a goal. So that's a good sign. But now, as you can see, we are in a much quieter realm. So the behavior of all of this, it went from 0 to the white went to about 24 hertz, 26 hertz, which is where this horizontal bleeping line over and over like Morse code has been going off for the last couple of weeks. It just has, or at least for a week. And then you can see other horizontal lines that have kind of strung through. This one was around 12 hertz, 9, 10 hertz. Look at that. 10 hertz is actually where they say schizophrenic minds resonate more than the 7 hertz, which is where, more of the average Earth human resonates at. So that's why their brains act a little bit different. They perceive different things. They're literally like tuned into a different frequency. So that's what this looks like. So maybe people who had schizophrenia had a little bit more of an episode at that time as well. Just a thought. But this is another weird reading. We're seeing some readings all the way down to the bottom. We're seeing these horizontal lines within. These to me don't look natural. This potentially a little bit more natural, but these lines that are underneath, not as natural. So there is, in my opinion, manipulations going on as well as nature, but the two of them seem to be meshed together. And that's why I watch this, because I want to see what the humans or whatever are doing as well as what nature's doing, and kind of trying to keep that in check, because we need to watch the shadows. That's our job as light workers, in my opinion. So the blast occurred at the highest peak was around 3 a.m. So most people were done the meditation around this hour, and then it continued to peak, kind of dropped, and then it peaked again around 3 in the morning when a lot of people were sleeping. I got reports that a lot of people weren't sleeping. They were up throughout the night, really, with this energy. And then everything really calms down amplitude-wise. The frequencies at that time were lower than average. They were, look at this, 777 was right before the meditation, and then boom, it went down to around a 7.4, which was the highest, intensity. The highest amplitude was around a 7 or almost a 7.2, it looks like. Average is 7.83. So that's like a 0.4 difference. 0.6 difference. And so that's pretty intense on the chart, and then it kind of gradually goes back to normal. So again, a little bit odd. That's even lower. The power that was coming in was at a lower frequency than what Earth usually buzzes at and people's brains. So that was a little bizarre to see. Here we go with the Q factor, just randomly spikes into the 6th, which I feel like maybe was what my animals were feeling. That was this one. So this one looks really weird. Right? Yep. I got it. I figured it out. So yeah, look at this one bizarre reading. That's weird. And the Q means that there was less energy lost at that time. It was like a purer energy that kind of happened. It didn't break down. So very bizarre. As you can see here again, the green line, which is around 23 to 26 hertz, has constantly been jumping up and down in Q factor. And again, I just don't quite understand why this is happening. So if you have an idea, please in the comments let me know. All that stuff is coming from Russia. They say they get all their data from this website, which they measure other things from around the world. But I'll show you why I think their data from the ionosphere is mostly coming from Russia, because during that blast on the 4th, according to HeartMath, which could be a lie, I don't know, but they measure California, Saudi Arabia, Lithuania, Alberta, Canada, New Zealand, and South Africa. And on the 4th, everything was really, really quiet compared to, what we usually see. Like here's South Africa blasting a 700, a power of 700. You can see here on the y-axis it says power. It's measuring the power between of the frequencies 0 to about 36. They aren't even capturing all of the frequencies really that are possible. So here's readings that's saying all those other places in the world were very quiet during the 4th. Here's another example. 4th, quiet, dead, quiet, 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 versus like what I've seen, pretty quiet compared to what we saw in the Russian graph for sure. And then into the 5th, which is when we got 5th and 6th, which is when we got that weird Q factor. This is the weirdest one I've seen, this like behavior from South Africa. Usually it looks like this, like more of the horizontal buzzing here. This is the frequencies again, but this is like very strange. So I don't know why it's doing that, but just showing you I'm getting double blasts in one day in South Africa, which I've never seen before. So something weird's going on. We're going to keep an eye on it. And in Italy, as another example, during the 4th, April 5th. So these readings are from April 5th. These are from April 4th. This is from April 3rd. Pretty quiet, like compared to Russia. Again, not as intense. So now let's look at what the sun's doing. So we were focusing really much on the planets, Pluto and Jupiter, during this blast in these last few days. And the solar wind on the sun is 100 below average right now, very quiet. We are seeing this bright spot. There was a coronal hole, but overall the surface is looking pretty decent, decently quiet and calm. Again, the solar wind being really weird, showing up really weird on this chart. It seems like something is going on though, like the spottiness and what's jumping around like this is rapid jumping around of wind speed. It's almost like a cloud and a cluster here. So that was over the overnight, and now we're getting into a little bit more of a solid looking reading here. But let's look at the magnetosphere. And this is let's look at the sun's surface first. It looks like an ejection is about to happen on the right-hand side of the sun, at least according to this chart. I don't know how this graph and the actual orientation of the sun line up. Could be mirrored, could be different. I don't know why they would do that, but it's possible. You see this huge chunk of energy is rising very far off the surface of the sun, and very likely is going to kind of release like a big bubble, like a CME that we've seen multiple times. So that's going on. But overall, what's hitting us right now as I speak is pretty calm. Like I'm just going to look at the pressure chart. You can see that it's very, very quiet. Like the last video I did, there was redness and lots of pressure going on. And I believe that was the day before the meditation, on the 3rd, that I did a video. Very, very little pressure going on. We're in a very quiet state right now. The Schumann's quiet, the sun's quiet, the magnetosphere is pretty quiet, decently quiet. The lightning around the world, pretty average. The earthquakes, pretty quiet, except for if you just scroll through internationally, Barbados had a little bit of something. There's this little blip that shows up in Jamaica and Cuba. So in the Caribbean, there was a little blast that occurred. Then we have the Solomon Islands. They're always doing weird readings. Canary Islands, all these islands. Like, there's weird stuff going on in islands that none of us can really go to. That's like so military, so deep state, so people with a whole bunch of money doing things that we don't really have any say over because they stole all our money. Let's be honest. Well, they printed their own and then they made us slaves to it. Anyways, that's all going away now because we're all becoming aware of what's really the situation. But I wanted to point out that again, and still, there are earthquakes happening far away from fault lines in the United States. Here up in Alaska, as an example, here in the middle of Idaho, these earthquakes are still happening in Idaho. It appears. Where is this on the list? There we go. We're pretty recent, okay? So this place is still rumbling. Then we have a few more here in Oklahoma and Arkansas, very far away from a fault line. So this is where we're kind of like, is this underground bases? What is causing the earth to shake? Is it fracking? It's possible, but there's stuff going on underground here that, in my opinion, is not as likely to be connected to the fault lines and the natural movements of the crust of the earth. So just keep your eye on that. Again, volcanic activity, very bizarre. I wanted to point out this particular area of the world, though, because I am seeing an anomaly now over the last few weeks of watching the weather and watching the earth, basically, on these charts, is that there's this nasty black hole that seems to be happening off, like, pretty much in the middle of the ocean. Like, nobody's really hanging out over here that we really know about, but it's just this dark hole. And this, I feel like the storm has been here in this same spot for many days, at least the last couple videos. And let's look into it a little more. So that's the Solomon Islands. We just saw that they were having weird earthquake activity. Okay. What is this? What is this? This is nuts to me. Something very intense is going on over by Fiji. And I know Fiji has been a big, a hot spot when they were talking about human trafficking. There was a moment when Fiji water was just like all over a press release that Trump was doing, and he was drinking Fiji water, and like Fiji, it was like Fiji, everybody pay attention to Fiji. And I'm pretty sure it came up in the QAnon drops as well at that point or around that time, and everybody was talking about it. Well, everybody who was talking about it then, or if you weren't, please pay attention to Fiji. Something seems to be going on. This could be artificially created cloud cover. This could be some type of operation going on. My heart and my prayers go to this area of the world. May it be healed. May it find its equilibrium and its connection back to Mother Gaia and to the natural order of the cosmos. That's what I would like to say about that. So, again, our beautiful new podcast episode, which I will upload on this channel, but I wanted to show you and give Jace an opportunity to get some more views on his, because I love his work. I love his work. I love what he does. I love how he describes things. He's been getting huge recognition for his work, and I'm just happy to share our audiences together, because a lot of you are you watch both of our videos, and it just means so much to us, and your kindness has been overwhelmingly warm and beautiful and loving, and our own parents are so very proud of us, and it's just so beautiful, and I'm getting emotional about it. It's really beautiful. So I want to thank you all from the bottom of my heart for all your support. My heart feels very full and very sensitive the last few days. It's been beautiful. To be in your heart is really a sensitive, fantastic feeling, and I'm feeling it lately. Sometimes I'm knocking on my chest, waiting for my heart to feel. But I've really been feeling it the last few days, so I'm happy that this is the thing going on, because that's what really I think life is all about. And I wanted to do a reading for all of you to kind of just wrap up this video for April 7th, the magic and the wonder of what the energies are, and just use my tarot cards right now to do a reading for all of you who've stuck around this long and now have watched me cry a little bit. It's a great channel, you get a huge variety. So let's do a reading together, and then that'll be the end of today's video. Dear Source, may I please do a reading for the mind, body, spirit complexes who are watching this video at this time. What is it that we need to know about the energy that is occurring at this now moment? April 7th. Here we go. I'm using the Osho Zen Tarot deck. Some of you may have opinions about Osho, but this deck is fantastic, and I know a lot of people who use it. So I'm just going to flip. I'm not going to show you what it is for a second because it's one I don't get very often, even though I kind of know what it's talking about. But I got the card of the mind. As you can see, this mind is overworking way too much. This is like the industrial technological revolution in someone's brain. Your mind has been turned into a industrial machine, and that's kind of what it does reflect, the state of the world in a lot of ways. And we're all trying to get back into the heart. The mind is a tool. The mind is where you have your pineal gland, where your multidimensional antenna, you have your brain, you have your crown. A lot of information can come in through your mind, but it's not as much designed to be like a producer and a constant thinker, because it's a problem solver. It's gonna circle over the same problems over and over and over until you can get back into your heart and be a little bit more at peace, because you'll be in tune with the pace and the information of the universe in a way. So this card says it's telling you that somebody somewhere is stuck in a head trip. So look at it for what it is. So if you are around people who are stuck in their minds, who are completely encased in their brain, they're trapped there, remind them what the heart is. Remind them, remind yourself what the heart is. Think about the people you love. Do something out of love. Jump up and down and exercise. It will bring you out of your mind. It will bring you back into your heart. When your heart rate's going up, your heart becomes more powerful. So that, I guess, is the message for all of us today. I really hope that you enjoyed this video and the information that I was able to share with you. Again, I have a Discord chat room for all of the people across platform to have conversation and share information with each other. That is going to be in the description. Thank you again for supporting me, and be good and do good out there. We are all we're all floating through the universe together. So let's just make it as pleasurable of a ride as we can. I love you all very much, and I will see you again very soon. Goodbye, everybody.